other kinds of offenses and restrictions that might cause that to happen.
What he's saying, Rich, is that if someone lies on the form, the mere fact that they filled out that form and did not include everything, and the background check brought something up new, that doesn't necessarily prove someone was lying. It couldn't. No, seriously, Rich, there has to be an intent. And somebody could very easily say they have no outstanding warrants and really believe that.
No, I get the warrant part. I understand that. But if they, let's use this exact example that we're talking about. She said she has a restraining order. She told that on the radio. She checked off on the thing that she did not have a restraining order, so she lied on that form. Now, why didn't somebody come out and arrest her?
It depends what's in the criminal history system. Now, that it does happen where there is a warrant out for someone's arrest. And in a case like that, local law enforcement is contacted, and they're told that this prospective purchaser is at this location.
Right, but that's what I understand. If I owe the state $15 for a parking ticket that I didn't pay, you send a guy out to collect that money. But, and I've had that happen 3 times in our business.
But they don't send them out if false statements were made on the application. I get it, Rich. They don't send them out.
But when they commit a felony, you don't do anything. Why?
If they commit a felony,
meaning what he's saying is if they lie on the form and the background check comes back and says, yes, they do have a restraining order, when they put down they did not have one, he's saying that in itself is a felony.
Well, it's a
felony. It's what it says on the form.
So listen, I got to take a break, but I got to tell you something. Either Rich Wyatt is a rebel and an idiot, or he's a genius, and he found something in the law that no one else did, and he's the only one doing it right. That's what we got here, folks. I don't know. There's obviously, or he believes he's doing it right. What is your take on all of this? Plus, we got other things coming up. I need to talk to someone else at CBI who can clarify this even further. Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. All right, I want to start something from here to the end of the week. Mother's Day screaming deals. If you have a business, a service, a product, let's do it for mothers. So anybody who has Mother's Day screaming deals, give me a call. Blaine's turn wants to talk about Gunsmoke. Go ahead, Blaine. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Tom, I just make a comment regarding the gun purchases. I've purchased probably 30 guns in the last couple of years, and the way it works when you go to these big Tanner gun shows is that you actually fill out your application. I think there's CBI people that are there that run your background check. If that comes back negative, and we see it happen all the time because it's a lottery system, they call a number, and then they say, okay, you're approved, come get your gun. But you do not buy that gun. Most of those guys, those gun dealers that are selling at those shows are ex-military police. They probably know the law as well as anybody in order to get their gun purchases through. And I have never seen it the way Rich Wyatt is doing it. I mean, I'm ex-military. I bought guns for 40 years. And evidently, he's doing something a little off the planet, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but he believes he's the only one really doing it the right way.
Wow, that's a good way to run a business, is to have somebody come in and buy a gun and then take 20% of their money for basically running a background check.
That's really what that's what it amounts to. But what
he'll doing that in my business, it's like I'll go out and do service.
But what his argument will be, hold on, here's what his argument's going to be, Blaine, because I know he'll say, well, then they shouldn't have applied if they didn't think they'd pass.
Well, a lot of people, like I said, I'm not using that gal as an example, but a lot of people have an understanding. They don't know what their background is until they actually run that or apply for a gun. I don't think there's.
Well, he's calling you a felon if you fill it out and you didn't come up with everything. But here's what he did say, though. I'm arguing for him. He's going to say, well, you shouldn't have applied to begin with. Then you're going to say, but I didn't know, and it's not accurate. Then he's going to say, okay, then I'll help you get it approved. But no matter what, you're not getting a refund. That's one thing about Rich Wyatt. You will not get a refund, not for his gun classes, not for his store. That has been his policy, and he just won't move on it. And he says he's the big dog in town. So,
well, good. I guess good for him, because I guess with all the negative press comes, okay, you're hearing this, gal intent to buy a gun. Now for 20%, which whatever that is of a $900 purchase, $180, you're getting all this negative press.
And by the way, I want to make it clear, I'm not giving any negative press. I am giving out what people are saying. I, honest to God, do not know what is right. He brought up some good points. He says the application says, are you the actual purchaser?
Yeah, the intent is to purchase, and that's at the gun shows. I mean, they wouldn't do that process if that's the case. And everybody at those shows would be running the credit card machine.
Everybody's doing it wrong because he's saying you're not allowed to run it unless they actually purchase it. That's what he's saying. You're not allowed to run it. Josh, what about you? Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I purchased several firearms in the past, I don't know, since the election. And I just was curious because if you're selling it before you get the background check, isn't he doing something illegal?
No, because he's saying no, because they're not taking possession of it.
Yeah, but you're not approved for it yet, and he's making the transaction for that firearm without passing the background check.
I understand, Josh, what you're saying, and that's what other people are saying. And that's what the CBI said. Well, how the hell can you do that? They can't own it until they pass the check. He's saying the only way I can get a check is if they own it. That's the fundamental difference. I've grilled him and grilled him and grilled him, and that's the fundamental difference. He's saying you must own the gun before you even apply for the background check. And they're saying that's ridiculous. The whole idea is to get the background check to see if you do qualify. Levi, what is your comment?
All right, Tom. Do these people that are buying guns from him, do they know up front? Is there something that they sign where he lets them be aware of the fact that if they don't pass, they're not going to get their gun and they're not going to get their money?
I don't know. I haven't been in the store. I don't know.
Well, the semantics of asking, are you the purchaser, I would take that as, are you the person, are you buying this gun for you, or are you buying this gun for someone else? I
agree with you. It's semantics. He's saying, no. That means you have to be the actual purchaser, which means you have to have bought it.
I mean, it kind of seems to me like he's trying to police the world and catch felons, which if he wants to take these applications and hand them over to the authorities of the people that fail because they have felonies and they put down that they didn't, I mean, that's one thing. But, I mean, whether if he's not letting them sign a piece of paper that lets them know that they're not going to get their money, I think he's being crooked.
Well, okay, thank you for your comments, 303-713-TALK. I mean, this is getting a lot of attention. Dan, what is your comment?
Thanks for having me on, Tom. I buy a lot of guns from different dealers, and I've been in the Rich Wyatt store, and he sits you down and tells you the right way of buying a gun and selling a gun. And I trust him over all these people calling.
All right, so Dan says he's done business with him, and he trusts him over all the others because he sits down and explains it all. I'm Tom Martino. More coming up. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I didn't mean for this to take over the show, but this woman goes to buy a gun at Gunsmoke, Rich Wyatt's place, and she fills out a background check application, fails it, and he basically says she can't get her money back because that's it. It's not his fault she didn't pass. He said if it was false, he would try to get her to get the background check corrected. He did say that. Or he would sell it for her, the gun, because she owns it now, and he'd sell it for a 20% commission. So the bottom line here is it got to be talking about the purchase. And Rich said, in every gun purchase at his store, he sells the gun to you first. You own it. Then you apply for a background check to see if you can possess it. If you cannot possess it, he keeps that and he keeps your money. And he will sell the gun for you if you want him to. So other people, other dealers, and CBI people are saying that's not the way it was designed. First, you're supposed to do the background check, then consummate the transaction. But Rich says, nope. The way the law is, it reads, you must be the purchaser in order to apply for a background check.